What's up, guys? Mexico, history of Mexico, development of Mexico, talking about Brazil, South America, Central America, human environment interaction, how all things play into part, and that's what we're talking about today in this PowerPoint presentation. Peace. The Spaniards arrive in Mexico, okay? We're not going to get back into the details of everything, but you have all your native populations, Mayans, Aztecs, as well as others before. But when the Spanish arrived, they basically destroyed the native way of life in present-day Mexico. They become part of the Spanish Empire. And basically how it happened, the end game, the Aztecs in control, have their big capital city, Tenochtitlan, and a guy named a Spanish guy, Cortez, shows up, makes a lot of friends along the way, and decides once he gets into the city and befriends a lot of people that he will then call to arms his buddies that he has either brought with him or allies he's gained along the way, and basically overthrow the Aztec Empire. And that killed basically the native way of life in Mexico. The Spanish then ruled for a while, and then later on, 1821, we have independence from Spain. Okay, Mexican forces rose up. Some former loyalists to the Spanish rose up and got their independence. For many years, you had one-party rule, where one guy was basically in control and his party was in control. A guy by the name of Santa Anna was a part of this. He'd switch back and forth from one party to the other, trying to gain a foothold in the elections and try to become the supreme leader of Mexico. But in this one-party rule, reforms happened, but redistributing the land was an issue. Fraud and corruption always undermined the democratic process in the new part of Mexico. Some of the influences that the Spanish had upon their arrival and then their departure from Mexico, architecture, the language, and then the one of the biggest ones is the religion. The Catholic religion brought over by the Spanish is huge in Mexico, and in most Mexican families are Catholic, so it's a big part of their culture. Native influence, there's a large mestizo population that exists, and their art, trying to kind of contributing or remembering the old days, blends the Native American and Spanish influences. Modern life in Mexico, a lot of folks are moving to the cities, mostly to look for jobs. Some of them are trying to escape. If you're looking at people along the border of America, the California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas border, a lot of those border towns, some people are moving away towards Mexico City to get away or escape the drug business and the cartel issues that are happening down there. But many are moving to the cities to find jobs. Most of them found the jobs in what we call the maquiladoras, or factories, where they manufacture and build things. Most people go to cities to find jobs. That's number one reason. Education. In Mexico, about 85% of school-age children attend school. Education is a necessity to finding good jobs. You need your education here. You need it anywhere. At least your high school education, high school diploma. Helps you find jobs. Get your college degree, helps you even better. But you need to have education in your life. Same thing in Mexico. Central America, the native peoples of Central America, again, the Mayan, Aztecs are the big two groups in Central America. Some others who have influenced the area, Spanish, and then people from Africa. Okay, colonial powers, Spain and Britain had control of the areas back in the colonial days. The big religion is Catholic or Catholicism, and the language is Spanish. In the Caribbean, some of the groups who have had great influence in the Caribbean, Africans, mostly because of slavery, or they were brought there to work in the fields. But other groups such as the Spanish, French, and the British also have a major influence in the area. Colonial powers, again, the same countries. Religion, more variety in the Caribbean. Catholicism still big. Protestant still big. Santeria, Voodoo, and Rastafarian are some big religions there. Okay, voodoo is voodoo, the spooky stuff, and Rastafarianism has it's most people think of that as smoking ganja, which is the drug of choice. It's like marijuana. You don't have to do it to be Rastafarian, but it's a big part of what they do. But it's it's marijuana that basically meant to clean the mind, open the mind, and cleanse the body, and things like that. But it has some views that are similar to that of parts of Judaism and Christianity, and then some are obviously pretty different. But that's one of the big religions in the Caribbean. Languages, there's all types of languages spoke down in the Caribbean. Spanish, French, English, Dutch, Danish, you name it, there's probably down there. Some terms for Central America and the Caribbean that you need to know. Cultural hearth, which we talked about before, is the origin of a major culture, where it begins, where it starts from. The United Provinces of Central America, named for Central America between 1823 and when independence from Mexico was happening, late 1830s. Panama Canal, canal that cuts through Panama, and it links the hemispheres together, making Panama a crossroads for world trade. So instead of going all the way around the tip, South America, you cut across, then you can head to the other side a little bit quicker. Kayaspo, music that began in Trinidad and combines elements from all types of areas, Africa, Spain, and the U.S. Reggae music, music that began in Jamaica, has all types of different influences, and most of the time focuses on religious or social issues. Obviously, one of the big dogs of that is Mr. Bob Marley. Here's a map here of the Panama Canal. You can see it creeping through and allowing people to get out the other side. Spanish-speaking South America, we have a slide on that, or a PowerPoint on that, so we'll skip that. Brazil's culture, the people of the past, hundreds of tribes, Portuguese colonizers, and Africans brought by force, slavery type stuff. Today there are many immigrants in Brazil. The main language is Portuguese, and the religion is mostly Catholic. There are some Protestants, and there are some religions that combine the African beliefs with Catholicism, a mixture of the two. Architecture, one of the more famous architectures from the area, or buildings from the area, is by Oscar Niemeyer in Brasilia. I have a slide of that in a second. And then the big celebrations, the Carnival, in which the Samba and the Copiera, which is a combined martial art and dance. Those things happen in this big celebration. Life in Rio de Janeiro, was a gap between the rich and the poor. Let's see, cultural center of Brazil, a very important area, obviously. Here are some pictures. Here's a building by Oscar Niemeyer, very unique architectural design there. Here's the picture of the Carnival in Brazil. People lined up to see the parade. And here's the mixed martial arts and dance right there. Migration to the cities of Brazil has started to happen because manufacture is growing, and agriculture, if I can speak, is not as big of a job as it used to be. Okay, so people are moving to the cities. The government is trying to get people to move to the interior part of Brazil. It's a rough area as far as landscape goes and things like that, but they're trying to entice people to move there with different benefits and things like that to help settle that area. End of the show. Some good stuff there. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy Tuesday. There will be a quiz, so be prepared. See you.